So many of my regular, actually more of my older viewers will know I like doing behind the scenes videos for some of the series that I make. You know, I did behind the scenes Friday Night Duels a while ago. I think that's probably the only one in it. And I've been trying to do one for Deckbox Zone, but I haven't really thought of how to do it until now. What you see before you is the 6 Samurai Structure Deck. This is something that's probably going to end up on Deckbox Zone eventually. Probably already has been by the time this thing's been posted. But I've decided, since I have now got the standard 3 copies of the deck, $30, hooray again. And they're always kind of interested me. I like Samurai. It's a warrior deck. I don't have an actual pure warrior deck, at least not anymore. So I've always wanted to kind of build them, and this will kind of just be what I do building them. First things first, since this is a starter deck thing, what I do is I will take the bone stock thing and I'll put it up against some of my lower ranked decks and just see how it flows by itself. Let it give it a chance, and maybe throw it against a higher ranked deck and let it get its ass kicked. And then I'll introduce the other 2 into it as I see fit and throw in some spare cards. Maybe take out the staple-ish type deals, because it's going to end up being a low-ranked deck anyway, so those 2 probably aren't going to stick around in there. So after a little bit of place testing, I finally put 3 of them together, as you can obviously see. And some things are quite obvious that needs to be at 3, some things are obvious that they're only at 1. And I've been trying to stay within the deck with putting 3 of them together, just to challenge myself a little bit. It's actually getting kind of inventive. I did find out a few of them that I love. I really like Zanji, actually. He's my favorite 6 Samurai right now. And there's a couple of legendaries that obviously need to be in here. I want to try to exceed spam. I want to stay away from the synchro summoning, so there's not 1 tuner in this deck. There's none of that. Well, the one that came with it, he's not in here. Even though he'd be slightly handy in combination with Zanji, which I did do a couple of times with the bone stock version of this deck. So, just to keep the synchros out of my mind, I got rid of all the tuners. I didn't look for any of the, I believe his name is Kagemusho, the level 2 one. Didn't bother with him. I kind of want to keep things around for rivalry, but the biggest problem is I don't think there's any rank 3 warrior exceeds that exist yet. Not at least one that I own. I can't really think of one either. There are some rank 5 ones, those are the ninjas, but I don't know them anymore either. They all ran away, so really the only thing I could exceed spam out would be the 4s. There's not really that much for 4s though, but rivalry is just something I have around for backup strategy anyways. Double Edge is definitely going to be great in here. I can tell already. Special Summon 2. That's an automatic exceed if you want. So, more play testing and we'll get further versions down the line hopefully. So, pretty much we'll just get done play testing. It's just usual me going back and forth, trying crap out. And surprisingly enough, that last version you just saw, I think it's going to end up being the final version. It's actually doing fairly decent. Black Wings ended up kicking its ass, but that was a deck-specific deck against a deck-specific deck. But anything mixed-wise, it just kills. So anything but deck-specific, like the types, like example, this one will be all warriors. This one's Aqua and Machines and Warriors. And Black Wing was all Wing Beast. That's not exactly going to work. So, we have everything all figured out this wise. So now I have to set this mess up. See you in a couple seconds. So I was setting up and I decided, you know what? People kind of comment on this thing once in a while. Either, oh my god, what is that? Or, nice mat, haha. This technically is not a mat. Let's see if I can actually stand it up. You might recognize it when it's like this. This is one of those goofy little background things that people will have at their stands. They'll post a bunch of stuff on it. It's a little cardboard background. And I had this thing since, I want to say 6th grade, so it's been years. And I'll explain what it was for some other time. But so I decided, you know what? This thing's a big empty thing, and I'm into Duel Monsters. Let's put this thing to use. So I drew this on the back of it first. This was the old Konami symbol and this little arena thing. I thought it was kind of neat. Made it myself. See, it even says Magic yet, so you know it's old. Unfortunately, though, a lot of people decided to write on the back of it. It was 6th grade, so you'll see weird things on it like cool, or I got my name signed on it here, and hi. A bunch of scribbles from someone testing their pen out. And you'll even see on it once in a while there's a 8,000. I actually used to write life points on here when dueling other people. There's a 64. I can also cheat, and there's a upside down 52. Apparently there was a 5200 monster sitting right here, because I used to do that too. Your life points were basically here. And the only thing I added was this for the banished zone, because big field, I have plenty of room. I've been using this as the background for Deck Box Zone because, well, that's bright. It's a nice bright bed. I like this thing, in all honesty. I tried looking to replace it because under that duct tape is where my cat decided, I'm hungry, nom nom nom. Fucking bastard. There's a missing spot there too. But I've looked, none of the newer ones have a nice plain back like this, and I think cardboard's gotten really, really cheaply made within the past couple of years because we're trying to be green and recycle a bunch. So as you can see, I started laying everything out already. I kind of like the layout design better than the people going through their deck like this. I think it's actually a lot better if I can just take you around and go here, 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 over here. I don't know. I like it better, plus it's a hell of a lot less setup because I don't want to deal with the thing stuck to the wall up there. That'd be my tripod. It's a nice tripod, but since this is my bed, things are squishy, and the only way to get it to hold still would be to attach it to one of my tins over in the corner. That's how I do Let's Opens, by the way. Alright, so once the deck's laid out, I gotta think over my extra deck now. I have multiple, we'll zoom in to make sure I get the effect here, multiple decks. So I cannot keep track of all of the extra decks. Most of them I actually have written down on their covers. You'll see Armory, Ally, Hyper. That's its extra deck along with its deck-specific ones that are always kept with it at all times. Aquarius, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. So all of them pretty much will have it. Any other, the newer ones, I really need to figure out what's around, and even some of the older ones that are by themselves. Prime example, the, if I can dig it out, the Mech Lord deck. My Mech Lord deck here. That one doesn't really have anything written on it because it never has a set extra deck. I never know what to throw in it. So at the time, it's just me and Removal Master dueling, and we just grab whatever out of the pile. That's my X-Seed pile. That's the Fusion and Synchro pile, which is dwindling like a boss. And crazy. It's just random things. Most all decks have a set extra deck, and I do go by it, but just the newer ones, not so much. Alright, so I gotta figure out my extra deck now. The X-Seeds, be right back. So I pretty much will have the extra deck now figured out. Had to come down to a few harder things. So the last thing is to set up the usual place where I start up on. Just the deck box on the card, and we have Zone. And then this, which I made on PowerPoint, by the way. I like it. That's my old. That's actually the old one. The newer one I have dropped the S and the 60 off of because there really isn't any other EMP Blade Knight. Hell, I'm not even sure there's any really Blade Knight. Mostly why I go by Blade, or everyone else has been calling me Imps. I don't care. That thing's nice. So, pretty much full everything. Look, that's a lot of real estate down there, ain't it? I've actually done, you probably saw some of the older ones maybe, but I've done dual deck box zones where one whole deck's laid out here and the other whole deck's laid out on the other side. Extra deck and all. That's kind of neat. Oh wait, I forgot. Silly me. Normally when it's deck with starter decks, I'll fold the mat so the main monster's over. And then you can see the main monster and he looks neat. I actually like this half of the mat. The other half of the mat, not so much. Why is it green? Alright. I like the purple and the red. That's cool. Alright, so that's pretty much all any behind the scenes deals. So, hope you watched the video. Later, YouTube.